Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to another episode of Garage Topics. Today we're going to put some new wheels in the S2000 and go over some small cosmetic features that make this thing look bitchin' and club dirty fresh. Alright, I got two sets of wheels basically. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The launcher's an SUV if you ask me. I think it's dope. These are the tires that are gonna go on this thing. They are the Tire Rack C3 wheels, the 17x9, the S2000 spec. I believe they're 63mm offset. Some people say 62mm offset, but you get the point. They're matched up to some 255/40 R17. These are the Continental DWSs. I have two of those in the front, but these came with the car. I've read good things about them. My thinking with this is that these are going to be a little bit quieter for daily driving, but still have a little bit of grip. It's got the S in there for snow. This car will most likely never ever see snow underneath my ownership, but mainly going it for a comfortable ride and decent grip for an all season. The wheels are a little bit janky, but I got them for a really good price, and it's going to give me another episode to make these wheels a little bit better. Maybe even paint them, plastic hit them, who knows. When this car came to my possession, it's got the narrow ones in the front from stock, and then the wider ones in the rear. Oh, look at that. It's a big old boy right there. Anyways, the issue I have is that the exact same tires are on it. I think they're 225s on the front and the rear, so the difference is obvious. The rear, they kind of sit flush with the rim, like that, whereas the front, they bulge out a ton, and it doesn't make for the best driving experience. Hey Ernie, come here. Where you going? What do you think about these tires, man? What do you think about these tires? Are they Club Dirty Fresh? He says, hell no. So we gotta get some new ones on here. A big cosmetic upgrade is this front bumper. You've seen in the previous episodes that this never ever sat flush here. Well, now it does, and it looks legit. We got the front lip on here, which looks legit. It's not that legit. It's definitely an eBay one. It doesn't have the most perfect fit. The OEM plus looking legit would be to have the rubber seal between that and the bumper, but that's gonna have to wait for another day. This whole thing needs to be painted. It looked great on camera, but in real life it's a little bit, yeah. But we also got this front grille down here. So it is missing some tabs at the bottom because they've been cut off, but for the most part it looks really good and doesn't look like it's been in a crash, because that's what it kind of did. They look great with an intercooler, but stock, they need a grill. But I'll show you some footage about how this went on, because that's gonna help out someone, and let's take a look. We're going to tackle cleaning the headlights, which we're going to do by taking the headlights out, because we got to change a bulb in here to make it a little bit more fresh. Also, we're going to put the front bumper back on. We've got the correct hardware to put it back on, so it's not just zip tied. It'll actually sit flush. And we're going to put the lip that came with the car back on. It's OEM style. I'm pretty sure it's eBay. Not super fresh, but we made it fresh. I'm not the poster child for clean. This desk is terribly messy, but we got the headlight out and it's on a clear, good space to put this on to clean it off. You could do a full sandpaper with this headlight, but it's not that bad. And I want to show you my go-to trick if you want a quick and dirty thing. You don't need to take the headlight out to clean it with this stuff. It's pretty good on paint as far as not harming it. Go-to choice is Mcguire's Plastics. I've been using this stuff for years. Apparently it's new and improved, whoop-de-doo. But it's super easy. I put it on with a paper towel, and then I just wipe it. I let it sit for a little bit, then I wipe it off with another separate paper towel. And that's when you kind of like scrub some of the yellowness out of it. It should work really great. All right, so once you let it sit for a little bit, you can kind of see, I wipe out just a little bit of the excess with the old one on a different side of it. But now you can see it's starting to dry a little bit on here. So that's when we want to get a new paper towel and then really start rubbing it. I kind of get like a blue shop towel or just a regular paper towel. You can probably use terry cloth if you wanted to, but I feel like the cloth works really good. I mean the shop towel. And then you kind of make this weird rubbing sound. There it is. And already you can tell it's just picking up gunk like crazy. So I'm gonna do this for a while, and so you don't have to watch this. Okay, So that took maybe 5 minutes, and like I mentioned before, you can do this while it's on the car. I just did it because I'm changing the light bulb. It's not perfect by any means, but it is 1,000 times better. And I don't know what it is about the smell of that stuff, but it reminds me of high school because I used it a lot in high school. Here it is, the Plus-Dex by Mcguire's. You can use this on other things besides headlights, like the dash, the plastics on the dash, plastic on the speedometer, etc. It really helps clean things up. So finally ready to put this bumper back on. This front lip here, it actually came with the car when I bought it. The entire underside of this was completely black and stripped of paint. I spent like 10 minutes sanding it, just cleaning it off, and then I spent maybe 3 minutes total painting it. As far as I waited like 10-15 minutes between coats, obviously, but I spent very minimal amount of time painting this bottom because no one's gonna really see it. Turns out when you spend little time on it, it turns out perfectly. It's a perfect match, it looks great. Whereas the stuff I did on that fender did not turn out as good as this, so live and learn, I guess. To make sure my bumper doesn't get scratched up, I got this old mover's mat that I actually used to keep the hardtop for the Miata under, so let's move this over here carefully. Nope, just cracked something. That didn't feel good. That was already cracked to begin with. This bumper is kind of junky. It's not the best bumper, so I'm not too worried about making it perfect. I'd much rather have an AP2 bumper on this white one, so maybe in the future. All right, here's the lip. So you can see it's already been on here before, so I'm gonna mount it up and then see where we wanna add 3M tape to it. So what I ended up doing is putting 3M tape here on this side where it matches up to the bumper, and the exact same thing on the other side, on this side. And it doesn't look that bad, but I did notice that this lip actually is cracked, making it not fit 100% perfectly. So on this side it's cracked. But right now that lip is not going anywhere. I'm gonna make some mounts on the bottom when we put it on the car, but for now it's good. I wanted to show you how to make this front bumper fit on the car correctly. It's with these part numbers. I'll throw them in the description. I think they refer to them as like tighteners or stiffeners, I think. These were like 30 bucks. They're expensive as crap. You probably could make something like this on your own, but it's JDM, brother. So this little metal doohickey has a slot on it that has a bolt hole and then a threaded welded nut on here for another bolt hole. It took me a long time to figure out how this works, but I'll show you here. This is the piece you need right here. This tab slides right into the bumper. There's a slit in the bumper, and that slides right in, but it actually comes from the inside out. So there's a little tab bit on here that goes into the plastic bumper as well, and it pops right into place. And then part of the blow-up schematic part numbers included this bolt. It was like $5 for like 2 bolts, which I think is a rip-off. I think you can get away with just using a regular metric style bolt, but this is super JDM, obviously. So you simply just screw this in here. And then what this does is when you tighten this down, this middle tab that sits out here now lets you bolt the bumper to the fender with bolts that I ended up buying from Lowe's. So that's how you do it. She's in the sunlight, looking fresh. That grill makes it look a lot better if you can tell. And then just the wheels, the size of them is great. I love the fitment on the front. It's really flush. It might need a roll, but I think it looks great. These wheels are definitely gross. I'll show you the back ones, which are the worst. So this is after me cleaning it several times. They're really disgusting. So they definitely need a painting, and the tires need to be cleaned up from the goop, but back sits in a little bit more. But it's definitely 4x4 status right now, so we need to drop this thing ASAP. There you go, and this is the side that we painted. You can tell outside is not that terribly noticeable. It's a little bit dirty right now, which actually kind of helps the cause. But I think it looks great. And no rust is good by me. It's looking pretty good. And then this side too. This does a better job of showing you. Back, it could use a little bit more offset or less offset to push it out more, but the front's basically perfect. Fresh.